Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Play the Game. As someone who relies on the lore to carry me through the reason I buy digital worlds, my notions of interaction will be focused on the Master Chief Collection come this December. However, there's some seriously mixed reviews in the community which could mean you may not be doing the same as I am. Let me delve into the details that possibly have steered your direction away from the franchise, and listen to the ones you may have misheard. By the end of the video, I will have hopefully bent your thoughts and re-established your faith in 343 once again. Welcome to Unveiled. Let's start with the misinterpreted mechanic and innovating features. ADS, in other words known as ads. Ads does not exist in Halo 5's multiplayer. This may seem rather confusing because it appears as if it is by the footage you've seen. Well, here's where people are too quick to jump to conclusions. It's a feature we know and love called Smart Scope, and you've been doing it for years. It's simply another idea of aesthetic animation, but performs nearly identical to the scope features in the previous Halo titles. All they did was remove a bulky HUD zoom element and shrunk it down to a much more realistic effect. Nothing more. The reticle stays the same size when you zoom just like you're used to. There is no red dot for say. Your weapon is now a combination of that HUD element you used to see. The real question that seems to bother people is how it changes the gameplay. Essentially, it's going to increase the range exactly like it's done for years. On top of that, the improved function is adding a competitive factor to the overall equation as well. It's allowing your character to see what's around you instead of just having a random HUD element that feels like a scope. While it may seem like ads, there is no penalty to your movement speed, no penalty to hipfire, and no flinch when scoped in. True ads would have these features enabled, which this title does not have. Moving on. Say hello to Spartan abilities. These are a truly game-changing addition because everyone has access to them when you load in a match. It's just how and when you decide to play them which shows the true skill. Spartan abilities are not armor abilities. Armor abilities in the past presented you with a variety to choose from, but you could only have one at a time unless you physically went into your loadout and changed it. The case now is all Spartan abilities can be triggered by everyone. You just have to do certain actions in some scenarios. Let's take a look into the abilities we know about so far. Thruster Pack. An evolved, much-needed dodge mechanic. You can go forward, backwards, and sideways. One other interesting trick it has up its sleeves is the stabilizers. When you jump, you can activate these and perform a hover maneuver while still being able to fire your weapon. That's all we know about the Thruster Pack, but there may be more hidden uses. We just don't quite know yet. Ground Pound. A deadly deliverance of the true meaning of Curb Stomp. If you catch enough air, you'll be prompted by a charge and will unleash a velocity-powered shockwave effect when your fist catches the ground. To activate it, simply hold your crouch button long enough. People can still damage you while you're in air during charge time, so it has its risk-reward. Clamber. When you perform a jump and don't quite make the gap, you can perform a clamber and catch yourself on the edge. This adds greater verticality to the map flow and quicker access toward progressing your enemy. Sprint. You praise it or you loathe it. In order to balance to the anti-sprint community, it needed to have a flaw. If you take damage and start sprinting, your shields will not recharge while you remain in sprint. You have to stop and hide if you want your shields back. You can no longer cower away without a fight pursuing you. Slide. If you sprint long enough to reach its critical velocity, you can perform a slide maneuver and get into cover when you're in the heat of the moment. Charge. Instead of taking the slide route, through preference of choice you also have access to charge. Hit the melee button and you'll bash into the metal plating of your enemy. It won't always kill them, but it will do a considerable amount of damage and remove the shields. If you land one from behind though, instant kill. Spartan abilities use an energy meter, and once you learn the mechanics, expect to be chaining these together. Moving on to maps and game modes. Breakout is a new 2-minute intense multiplayer experience which challenges you to understand that communication is essential and learning map placement is key. You and 3 other Spartans are launched into a Tron-like arena and you compete to eliminate all enemy team members. It's a round-based game type, you only get 1 life per round, and you don't have as much shields, instead you're forced to rely on the cover scattered throughout the map. The game type looks incredibly fun. You can end up in scenarios called duels, where you and the last surviving player determine the fate of who wins the round. The vibe from these is at a critical. You start off each round with an SMG and a pistol. These seem to have had buffs to their effective range, damage, and a much more compressed bullet spread. The only map we know of which you participate in the breakout game mode is Crossfire. The map appears symmetrical at first, but both sides are actually mirrors of each other. It's a subtle nod which changes up the cover system. It features launch pads, which essentially gives you access to the battle training grid you play on. It's speculated this is part of the UNSC Infinity from Halo 4. Something that really caught my eye was the actual blocks around the map. It looked like revamped Forge pieces. If this is indeed made in Forge, I would be astonished. Matter of fact, what if the map can be rearranged entirely? Imagine having a new arena to play every few weeks built by community forgers. The potential for this map is at an all-time high. The next map is Truth, a remake of the beloved midship. The design of the arena-based Covenant ship is a combination of close quarters and mid-range combat. You know what they say, don't change the layout if it works. The base of the overall structure is a symmetrical competitive arena. You start out spawning across from each other and you have the option to engage in an across-the-map firefight. It's a classic scenario to see who gains first strike. A new addition to the map is a new Covenant sword called Prophet's Bane. Other than that, 343 brought out the paintbrush and painted a mural. It feels more like concept art, and I love that kind of rendition. To continue, the third map is known as Empire. It has a familiar skyline feel. The gameplay focuses on elevation, close quarters, and longer open passages that can lead to you getting some precious time with a sniper rifle. This is a map where controlling power weapons is a must. If you have strong communication and know how to take advantage of height, expect to carve a serious message on your foe's visor. Finally, we have a map with not a title to be found. It seems like a symmetrical outdoor battleground covered in lush foliage with Covenant written all over it. The brief glimpses we were given of the map reveals a sort of playground feel. Tunnels and shortcuts everywhere. I'm definitely handing this to the plaque of my most anticipated list. Can't wait to play it. The beta will ship with 7 maps in total. We know of 4. As for your arsenal, you'll have access to 11 sandbox weapons. 9 are confirmed to exist in the beta, 1 is unknown. I actually found a couple of these on my own. Assault rifle, SMG, battle rifle, DMR, Prophet's Bane, shotgun, sniper rifle, magnum, and an unknown heavy rocket launcher. The strange thing about this weapon is its magazine, clocking in with 6 rounds per cartridge. The max capacity seems to be 12 rounds. My guess is that these rounds are not just one shot to kill. Did I mention it tracks you? And the final gun is a gun I've seen no one mention. It's hidden in a screenshot. Is it the light rifle or the scatter shot? It looks like a blend of both. Whatever it be, I'm hoping Promethean weapons get some light shined on them this time around. Onward to your Spartan. The idea of some friendly competition is highly evident by the winning team's gestures. They're actually quite hilarious. I'm really liking the investment toward character. It can go a long way. Your Spartan is essentially going to act as if it's in a simulation, pulling out callouts you can hear in-game, training you to listen to not only your fellow teammates, but the in-game audio as well. That blend of tactics could be the difference of domination or defeat. To add to the blend of being your own unique war machine, armor customization is still present. 7 armor variants will be available in the beta, but you can go ahead and start punching some unlocks out for the final game. If you have the Master Chief Collection, you can earn some of the armor sets that I'm about to mention, and they will carry over to the final game. Mark 6 Gen 1. Here's how you unlock it. Earn the Your Journey Begins achievement in the collection. It will unlock the helmet and the armor. Simply complete a campaign mission or match a multiplayer. Easy. Mark 6 Gen 1 Scarred. To unlock the helmet and armor, simply complete Cairo Station in Halo 2. Helios Grill. This one's pretty fun. Earn the Legend achievement in the collection. This will unlock the helmet and the armor. All you have to do is complete all campaigns on Legendary difficulty. Pretty easy if you know what you're doing. Rage-inducing if you don't. Nightfall. To unlock the helmet, watch episode 1. To unlock the armor, watch all 5 episodes of the Nightfall series. I'm not going to talk about the ranking system because it's not going to be ready for the beta apparently. If there's one problem I'd like to fix, it would be me not getting early hands-on time with this beta. I'm intrigued, but my request to you is hopefully you're willing to try before you buy. Do us a favor and slam that like button if you're willing to try the beta or you learned something new in this video. The recording to this video? No, I can't even. I'll leave the video with the following question. What map environment would you like to see in the beta? I'd have to go with an underwater structure with dynamic game-altering effects. Halo definitely needs to descend underwater sometime. After getting that nostalgia from Halo 2, I want more. As always, my name's Prophets Awaken, and I have a sword named after me. Have a great day, guys.